Okay, you ready? iPhone 14. iPhone 14, I couldn't wait to get this. iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro. And here, all my excitement dies.
Let's go!
That's the subject of today's vlog, guys. A review on the iPhone 14. I do not care if you can make actually calls with it. We're gonna talk about the iPhone 14 Pro in terms of video making. The coming up video is a short interview I filmed on the iPhone, and actually this whole vlog has been filmed on the iPhone. That's why I'm not showing it to you, because I'm using it right now in studio with an external microphone. But anyway, the clips you will see were shot with different camera modes, different frame rates and resolution. Also, I tested out with different microphones. I tested it out in nighttime just to check the low light capabilities of the phone. So can this be the only recording device you need that can replace your professional cameras? That's something some of the biggest YouTubers said online. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Super XXL Parkour Community Jam.
So we are at the Super XXL Jam. It's a jam that happens every Sunday around London.
So it depends on the weather, but if the weather's good, I think we can go up to 100. But if the weather's cold, we tend to be around 20 to 30 people.
It's diverse. There's a lot of everything, like different skills level, different origins, so people coming from other countries to like have fun with us.
What I enjoy the most about this community is the sense that we can all train together and learn from each other's mistakes. If you want to do parkour in London, come and join us at Super XXL.
There you go, that was all shot with the iPhone 14 Pro. What do you think? Straight away, comments down here. Also subscribe for more. I bought this phone myself. I wasn't sent from Apple or anything. I just wanted to review it, so I went to the Apple store yesterday. All the iPhones were sold out apart from the 1TB one. That cost £1,600. We're not gonna really talk about technical stuff. I'm gonna give you some features of the phone, of course, but I wanna talk more about the quality of the video, see if you can actually replace your cameras with this tool. Let's talk about the lenses and their focal length. And here, warning guys, when we talk about focal length, we are not actually talking about the real focal length of the lens, because simply it's impossible to match a 70mm lens, for example, in this device. Okay, you will see the phone itself is less than 1 centimeter probably wide, so literally physically it's impossible to fit a lens that big. So everything you see, it's recreated with softwares and mattes. They're not real lenses moving inside the body. So the focal lengths on the iPhone reproduce what it could look a real lens on a professional camera. And talking about that, we have 3 lenses. The main lens is a 24mm lens, and I want to show you some stuff. Okay, just to make it clear, this is a 24 to 70mm lens G Master by Sony. Okay, so this is this should be the same thing you have on the iPhone as the main lens. So it's literally impossible to fit it on an iPhone. Another lens is the 13mm called on the phone by or X 0.5. This is a 12mm. The third lens is a 77mm. So I'm gonna take my zoom lens by G Master again and go to 70. That's a 70 only. So you miss another 7mm to get more or less what you're supposed to have on the iPhone. So keep that in mind as we go. My feedback on the lenses, first of all, so we were filming this parkour session yesterday in London, and by the way, go and check our community Super Double XL, all the links down here. But the main lens, which is the 24mm lens, is the one that works the best, in my opinion. Best quality, less noise. So definitely I would use that as the main lens for all the videos if you really want to get, you know, this way to make videos. The 13mm lens, which is the wide angle, it's more noisy and definitely darker. That's why they need to push it digitally in terms of brightness and create a lot of noise, and the images just don't look great. You can see all these clips as reference. I think the 0.5, so the 13mm, still works quite well in terms of macro, like in this shot of the tattoo. Even though, yeah, there's so much clarity and definition, it's just too fake in all the lenses, in my opinion. The 77mm lens by 3x3 is nice. You can create some depth of field without using the cinematic mode, but still you see a lot of sharpness. Really digital stuff. Like check the beard here of Jax, for example. It just looks fake. It's when you in Photoshop use the clarity like 100%. That's the kind of thing you get of this phone basically in all the lenses. Resolutions and frame rates. Okay, you can change and swap different resolutions and frame rates within the phone. We have 4K video recording at 24, 25, 30 and 60 frames per second. I think that's the best setting, especially the 4K 24 frames per second. When you add frame rates, usually you reduce the brightness and again you introduce more noise into your image. So that's a choice you have to make. All these frame rates and resolutions are in video mode because you can choose different video modes. This is the actual video on the phone, it's called video. Then you got the cinematic mode, which everyone talks about, and to be straightforward, is rubbish in my opinion. And that's why you didn't see it in the interview at the beginning of this vlog, because it was so bad that I didn't want to use it. I tried a few times. You can see some clips here. The blurriness you get is so fake, so artificial, and it just looks bad. Also, if you have glasses on or caps, but even just your face, sometimes it just doesn't recognize the face and it blurs like the edges of the face. It's just awful, guys. So definitely don't, I wouldn't use that stuff. Guys, vlogging with the cinematic mode, 24 frames per second in 4K, it looks really weird with this blurriness. Not a fan. But anyway, in cinematic mode you can record up to 4K in HDR at 30 frames per second. Then we have the action mode. We're going to talk about it a bit later. You can record at 2.8K 60 frames per second. Basically, action mode is the stabilization of the phone. A pro feature you should get on the phone is to record in ProRes, so higher quality in terms of codec and more data for your color correction. I just found it exactly the same as the normal recording without ProRes. Then we have the slow-mo mode. Here is just for slow motion. You can record in Full HD at 120 frames per second and 240 frames per second. Again, the quality of the clips was pretty bad. A lot of noise. The image is just destroyed and you can see it in this clip. Also, it was bright day, sun in the sky. I mean, there was no excuses not to get good images, and still that's what you get on the iPhone. Right, let's talk about this action mode. Action mode, as I mentioned, is the stabilization system of the iPhone 14 Pro. I have to admit, this is actually a pretty good feature. I think it matches or even overtakes the one from the GoPro. In some clips, I was chasing my friends, literally running with the phone in my hand, only handheld. In my hands, when I was looking at the video, the clip was completely shaky. So I was running and I could see, you know, Andy going up and down. And I said, this is rubbish. Then I rewatched it and it was like kind of perfect as it was on a stabilizer. That's how good it is. The iPhone records on the wider lens and of course it crops it down, so you have a lot of crop factor there and it will stabilize it for you. Exactly like GoPro basically. But yeah, it works really well. I have to admit that. I'm gonna give you this iPhone 14. Audio-wise, so I did a bit of vlogging during the day, and there was a bit of wind, so you can hear the wind if you don't have a windshield, which the iPhone doesn't come with. But I'm also recording with an external microphone, and the interview you saw at the beginning was recorded on an external microphone, and it sounds good. It's usable, definitely. But even straight out of the iPhone, yeah, you know, for vlogging is okay, if there's no wind, of course. Right, some feedback, guys. Best lens is 24 millimeters, 4K, 24 frames per second, or 60 is the best settings I found so far. Everything else looks a bit fake and too digital. Focus. Let's talk about the autofocus. I think the autofocus was pretty good in video mode. Cinematic mode didn't work. It just doesn't work as a feature, in my opinion. So I'm not even talking about it anymore. But in video mode, the autofocus works really well. It recognizes the faces, and you can also lock the focus and the exposure of your image. Just tap on the screen, hold it, and it will lock the two features for you. Then we tried some low light conditions later on after the Parkour jam. We went to Canary Wharf with Meteor and Liam. Thank you guys. Actually, thanks everyone to be part of the vlog. And again, it's something I would avoid on the iPhone. It's not great. The main camera, the 24 millimeters, again, is the one that performs the best. But the wide angle and even the 77 don't work very well. The image is just poor of quality. A lot of noise going through. It's really amateur, like it's an amateur device, basically, in my opinion. Battery. I charged the battery to 100% before the shoot, and let me test something actually. So I just placed all the footage filmed in the day on the timeline. It goes up to 20 minutes in total, and I've got how many clips here? 140 clips. The battery, when I finished recording, again, 20 minutes. Let's say I left the phone on 1 hour. It was at 10% of battery. So it went down so quick that at the end of the day, when we were shooting in low light, I was actually worried I couldn't finish the vlog. So it didn't last long at all. If you think about it, still we recorded in 4K, 60 frames per second mainly, so you get a lot of power out of the phone, but still that's the amount of time the battery can manage. Again, according to my tests, all right? I'm just talking about my personal experience here. Overheating, if you're interested, I didn't notice anything, even because I was just filming on and off, so I didn't really allow the phone to warm up and heat up, so I can't really talk about that. Settings-wise, as I mentioned, you can lock the focus and the exposure. You have no power over the ISO, the temperature at all, or the shutter speed. And in certain clips, because of the lack of light, the shutter speed was slowed down. And you can see it because it's blurry and it doesn't look great. I don't really feel all the excitement I've seen on other channels about this device. It's actually my first iPhone, and I just wanted to get it to test the video making capabilities. What I'm gonna do, I'm returning it because £1,600 is a lot of money. With the same money, guys, you can get a professional camera. I mean, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K, £1,000 nowadays, probably less if you get it secondhand as well, and you get a kit lens for 1,600 or even less. Also, my Sony a7R III professional photo camera with a kit lens 24 to 240 millimeters. I actually got it for £1,600, including a tripod, a case, and something else I don't even remember. Again, YouTubers are saying these cameras on the iPhone are getting to professional level. I'm not sure about photography. We're gonna probably review it in terms of photography as well, and if you want me to, just drop a comment down here. There's no way they can replace a professional camera nowadays, simply because you miss all the professional features. So you don't have S-Logs, you can't record in flat mode, which is the way you should be grading your videos. Here, yes, you can change a bit of the colors, but there's not much you can do with the actual images because it's ruined. Anyway, it's full of noise and it's so sharp that is, in my opinion, professionally is unusable. If you're just vlogging and you don't want to get the camera, then this could be an option, but keep in mind everything I said before in terms of low light, noise, and whatever you get out of the phone. But if you're thinking to become a professional content creator or video maker, don't think about going with the iPhone to a shoot. I wouldn't even use it as a second camera, to be honest. And also, if you want to get into the business professionally, you need to learn the basics of photography. You don't want a device that does it for you. So you need to know how to expose properly with the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. You want to learn how to focus manually. You don't have proper bokeh. You get this fake blurriness in the background that never works. And yes, I could keep the iPhone to call my mom. Now, that was my opinion on the iPhone 14 Pro in terms of video making. Let me know if you have any question. I tried to reply, again, judging by my experience. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's gonna help. Don't get tricked, guys. It's not a video camera. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.